These are 24 factors that increase fuel consumption of your car. As cars age, fuel economy declines. No matter how well you take care of your vehicle, its engine efficiency and power are never as good as when you drive it off the lot. However, while a product of the miles you've driven, this decrease in efficiency is most likely due to faulty or worn engine components. It's also true your gas mileage changes over the period of the day as well. Colder mornings mean lower fuel economies. But what about on a typical warm day with a car that isn't incredibly old? Why do you see drops in fuel efficiency? Consider these 24 tips and maintenance to minimize fuel consumption. 1. Low quality of fuel. Bad quality fuel will take longer and will require larger quantities to power the engine. This will also increase the accumulation of waste after the burning of the fuel in the intake valves and injector nozzles. Good fuel stations also have chemical additives that clean the engine compartments like intake valves, injector nozzles, and inner hidden parts of the engine. 2. Overload. An increase in the mass of the car directly affects the increase in the fuel consumption. So, to move any load, you need to spend energy, and the heavier this load, the more energy is needed. Accordingly, fuel consumption increases. If 4 people are sitting in the cabin, except you as a driver, plus the tank is loaded with some things, then fuel consumption can increase 1.5 times from the normal one. 3. Clogged air filter. Engines must suck in air to power vehicles. If your engine air filter is particularly dirty or clogged, your engine won't be able to breathe. To compensate, engines would burn more fuel to travel at the same speed. Engine air filters should be replaced approximately every 15,000 to 30,000 miles, but check your owner's manual to be sure or have it inspected at your next oil change. 4. Clogged or damaged fuel injectors. Fuel injectors are the nozzles that spray fuel into each engine cylinder. A fuel injector's spray pattern must be very precise to properly mix with air and combust inside the engine. When a fuel injector becomes dirty or clogged, it may spray fuel inefficiently. Think of a poorly pressurized shower head. This can quickly reduce the efficiency of your engine and lower fuel economy. In many cases, the fuel injector nozzles can be cleaned. Other times, the injectors may need replacing if they are really bad. 5. Dirty oxygen sensor. An O2 sensor measures how rich or lean the exhaust gases are that exit your engine and sends a message to your car's computer to adjust how much fuel enters the engine. A dirty oxygen sensor may lead to incorrect measurements that cause your engine to burn too much fuel. Faulty oxygen sensors are one of the most common causes of a check engine light and will likely need inspecting and possibly be replaced before the 100,000 mile mark. 6. Clogged fuel filter. Fuel filters block contaminants in the fuel from traveling throughout the engine, where they could damage fuel injectors and other important parts. A clogged fuel filter can lower fuel pressure and cause your engine to run poorly. It's important that fuel filters get changed approximately every 2 years or every 30,000 miles. If you suspect a dirty fuel filter to be the cause of your decreased gas mileage, take your car into your local auto repair for a fuel pressure test. 7. Worn out piston rings. Bad compression. The piston rings in your engine cylinders form a seal against the cylinder walls to create compression. When piston rings become worn out, they aren't able to create that seal and the engine loses pressure. As a result, fuel efficiency drops. The best solution is to make sure your car has regular oil changes with the manufacturer recommended oil type found in your owner's manual. 8. Bad ignition system parts. The ignition system includes coil, spark plugs and wires that are responsible for combusting the air-fuel mixture in the engine. If any of these parts are malfunctioning, it may be causing the engine to misfire. A misfire occurs when the fuel in an engine cylinder does not combust. Since unburned fuel cannot power your vehicle, this ends up wasting gas and lowering fuel economy. You may experience rough idling, stumbling, or an overall decrease in power from the engine if the ignition system is to blame. 9. Incorrect engine oil. Viscosity grade of engine oil is something that you have to keep in mind before buying engine oil for your car. Using the wrong motor oil for your car can lead to greater fuel consumption. This is due to the fact that the piston and other movable parts of your engine move less freely. This puts undue stress and pressure on the engine, which results in the engine consuming more fuel than necessary. 10. Dirty mass airflow sensor. If your engine runs too rich because of a bad mass airflow sensor, you can expect poor fuel economy as a result. The engine control unit might send too much fuel into the cylinders of the engine because it doesn't know how much air is in there. 11. Clutch wear. When your car's clutch is in poor condition, slippage occurs, which is the reduced contact between the pressure plate and the clutch. This results in a portion of the power generated by the engine to be wasted and not delivered to the wheels. This results in a bigger quantity of fuel being used. 12. Roof rack. With average speed below 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour and in city traffic, there is virtually no loss, around 1 to 2% in gas mileage. When driving with an empty roof rack at higher average speeds, there is typically a reduction in fuel efficiency of 5% to 15%. An empty roof rack increases the fuel consumption of a vehicle in some scenarios. 13. Low tire pressure. This will increase your vehicle's rolling resistance, causing your engine to work harder and use more fuel to move your vehicle along the road. 14. Unadjusted wheel alignment. You are probably paying more at the pump if your steering wheel isn't sitting straight. Similar to low tire pressure, misaligned wheels add unnecessary resistance to your everyday drive. As a result of this constant resistance, your vehicle's engine must exert more effort, which reduces fuel economy. 15. Aggressive driving, speeding, rapid acceleration, and braking wastes gas. It can lower gas mileage by roughly 15% to 30% at highway speeds and 10% to 40% in stop-and-go traffic. 16. Cooling system. Overheating of your car engine due to cooling system problems. A car engine that runs hot after a number of revolutions increases gas consumption, leading to poor gas mileage. If your thermostat is stuck open, you will experience poor performance and fuel economy. 17. Dirty throttle body. Since the throttle body is responsible for your engine's performance, it can negatively impact your car's fuel economy. Significant declines in the distance you can drive on one tank of gas may indicate that the throttle body is failing. 18. Worn or stock brakes. If the forward motion of your vehicles is hindered by a stock brake caliper or sticky brake pads, your engine will be constantly fighting with the brakes just to move, thus reducing fuel economy. 19. Obstruction in the exhaust system. Over time, your exhaust will get blocked with soot and grime, reducing airflow in your engine and making the combustion process less efficient, lowering your engine power and efficiency. 20. Sticking AGR valve. The AGR valve cycle open and closes based on throttle movement and intake manifold vacuum to reduce exhaust emissions. If it sticks open due to carbon deposits and heat distortion, it creates a vacuum leak and rough operation. This will adversely affect fuel economy. 21. Crankcase ventilation. In a case of a stock PCV valve that is unable to close properly, a rich mixture of oil and air will produce in the combustion chamber of the cars. This depicts the presence of more fuel than in the air in cylinders. Since it increases fuel consumption, a bad PCV valve will lower your fuel economy and you will have to pay more for fuel frequently. But also due to toxic emission gases, your car will also fail to pass the upcoming emission test. 22. Fuel cap. An unsecured fuel filler cap will get you a check engine light on most late model vehicles. It will also cost you fuel economy because fuel has a high evaporation rate. A loose filler cap allows fuel vapors to escape, also causing the evaporative emissions system to malfunction. 23. Vacuum leaks are one of the most overlooked malfunctions because we tend to think the worst and miss stray stockage completely. Because so many operations beneath the hood depend on intake manifold vacuum, there are seemingly miles and miles of vacuum hoses from bumper to bumper. Vacuum hoses dry rot, as do teeth and other onions, and when they do, they create vacuum leaks. The O2 sensor pick up on lean condition and enrich the mixture to compensate. You get a rough or unusually high idle and less power. The result is poor fuel economy. 24. Fuel pressure regulator. The fuel pressure regulators are typically life of the vehicle components, but they can fail. Check your manufacturer's recommendation. But it's a good idea to change them every 100,000 miles to keep fuel pressure in the ballpark and your vehicle on the road. A failed fuel pressure regulator can cause either too much fuel pressure or none. Too much means high fuel consumption and poor performance.